So the area of Naturena is one of those affluent areas that is refusing to basically pay for electricity. You've got residents that are actually, you can see, it's like double stories and so forth, and they don't pay for electricity. So as part of our aggressive revenue collection drive, we decided to target this area so that we can basically start forcing them to do what is right, which is basically to pay for electricity. We've got about 3,000 prepaid meters across Naturena, and only about half of those are basically vending. The rest are not vending, and that's why we basically decided to target this area. The prepaid meters, we're looking at about 27 million rands annually that we're basically losing because of those. And remember, this is the area that we basically invested in the past. Just a few months ago, we basically installed new line. We normalized the electricity infrastructure here, and it costed about 9 million rands. And the agreement that we had with the community at that time was basically to say they will basically allow City Power to move in and ensure that we basically normalize and also put in meters for those who do not have smart meters. So, and they refused for that to happen, and that's why we basically came through with law enforcement agencies so that we can basically force these residents to pay for electricity. So, but what we did is basically to switch off the whole street, because most of the residents here do not buy electricity. So we decided to basically switch off the main supply. So as I'm talking to you now, the whole street does not have electricity, and that is what we're going to do moving to other areas. If we don't get access, then we'll basically switch off the whole area and force them to come to City Power, and we can start talking.
We had several engagements with the City Power. We said to them, look, we are willing to work with you. They said to us they want to install smart meters. And we said to them, look, if you want to install smart meters, go through our council. We believe that the community of Naturena is paying for their services. They are not supposed to be treated this way. Areas where people are not paying, these people, they don't go there. Right? We are paying for our services. There might be few individuals who perhaps are not paying, but majority of our people are paying. Right? The reason why they want to install this thing, they know very much well that Naturena income that they will make out of Naturena will make for all these areas that are not paying. Because once the people of Naturena start paying, then it's easy for them to run with their business. They can forget about going to Freedom Park, they can forget about going to other areas. They want to punish people of Naturena for paying. And we have said to them, the culture of paying for services that you are receiving, we understand it very much well. Hence, we have been working with them since ever the days of normalization. When they were putting these green boxes, we worked with them. But we said to them, there are problems in Naturena. Let's address those issues. Issues of billing, they must be addressed. If you speak about billing in Naturena, the billing in Naturena is highly abnormal.
I think this was a success. I think in our assessment, we had a session beginning of the week to assess what we want to achieve from this operation. We are aware we've engaged in the community from around March this year, and we know the impact in terms of the fight that takes place usually when we go into that place. But today what we wanted to do was to spend 2 hours and target high bills or customers with high bills and disconnect them. And we knew that at some stage we will be there will be that resistance from the community. So we estimated about 2 hours. Firstly, I think what comes first is the safety of our employees, and that's why we did that risk assessment. And I think we have achieved that which we wanted to achieve. So what is actually happened, we cut the whole block because based on the job cuts that we have, I think 90% of that street was falling within the cutoffs that we needed to have, and most of them we couldn't gain access. But we have opened up a section within Bramfontein where people, when they come, we should be able, as they make the necessary arrangement to pay, we will be able to reconnect them and have them pay. We have been communicating with the residents of Naturena from, as I said, March. They had a problem. They experienced cable theft from Aikenhof Mountains. There's a stretch of copies that is actually not secured, and every time cables used to be stolen there. And we sat down with them. They highlighted the network challenges, and we highlighted the issues around collection. City Power invested about 9 million there to come up with a cable that will be difficult for cable thieves to actually steal. And we stood and we met our obligations in terms of the deal. And what needed to happen is that immediately after we replaced that cable, we were supposed to normalize the meters. And when we were supposed to come in, we were then confronted with those things that they needed to more engagement on the meters. So that we felt it was unfair from the community, because we met our part of the bargain. So as it is, I think the engagement has been enough. I think what is necessary for the city to do is to start collecting in that area. On the rates and taxes, on the debt itself, the city is owed about 210 million by Naturena. So there's an aggressive, there's a huge element of non-payment in the area of Naturena, and I think operations like this, they also assist the community to get used to the culture of payment. And they were personally being threatened. So from our side, in terms of the risk assessment, we did our 2 hours, but I think it was just in protection of our staff, and I still believe that we've met we have achieved that which we went there for.